Hello, beautiful souls. Lisa here. And I want to start this little mini series called Shame Stories, where I will be sharing stories about shame that I have still and that I've been working through over the years. So today's story is about, I don't know, it was like 8 years ago or so. I was in a really, really low place. Like, it felt like I just had the wind knocked out of me. I was in a place where I wasn't yet feeling emotions. I was still majorly in denial that I was a human with emotions. And I was really hurt. And I was like such an overachiever. You know, I still went to work. Still took care of my kids, although not as, that's where the shame is. There is like the neglect that probably happened during this time. But I would come home from work and I would pour myself some Jägermeister and sit in my room and watch Grey's Anatomy. And I did this every day. I did it on the weekends. Like, I literally couldn't handle doing anything more. It was like comfort, I think. And as I look back on this time in my life now, it's like, because I wasn't feeling the emotions that I probably should have been processing, watching that show, and I don't know, for me, the alcohol, it's like I couldn't feel my feelings at that point unless I was drinking. So combining this high dramatic, show with alcohol, I was crying, I was feeling all kinds of feelings. And even though it was related to the characters that I was watching, it was something. It was a starting point. I think what was going on was like my body couldn't hold the emotions that I had in there anymore. And that was the only way at that time that I knew how to kind of like let some of the steam out, So all of this to say, I felt really ashamed during that time. Like, a mother is not supposed to just sit in her room drinking, watching TV, And then, on top of that, not just a mother, just like anybody, like what kind of deadbeat was I, and these are the things that still play in my mind so many years later. Even though I can see the point of it, I can see the purpose it served me. It kept me comfortable and it helped me start letting some of these emotions flow, even though it wasn't my emotion for what happened to me, they all kind of connect, And so yeah, that's something that I carried and still continue to carry shame about, because I missed quite a bit during that time. But if I were there, it probably wouldn't have been much better. I would have been disassociated, because I was at that time disassociated from myself, numbing. Who knows what kind of trouble I would have been in if I was drinking out in public. So yeah, if you're going through a time like this, or you've been through a time like this where you kind of should be doing something else, but you can't bring yourself to do anything other than this one thing that's keeping you comfortable, nurturing you through whatever tough time you're going through, and kind of letting this steam out a little bit for when you're not quite ready to do that. It's okay. And that's what shame does. It makes us feel like we are bad or wrong for the things that we do. Granted, the behavior wasn't the best, but it was only like a stage of this, and it did serve a purpose. Even though I couldn't see it then, I definitely see it now, and I'm sure as the years go by, I'll get more insight as to what other purposes that might have had. But the thing is like, it makes it double worse or triple worse, like way worse, whenever we make ourselves feel like there's something wrong with us or that we're broken because of these behaviors. You know, behavior is communication, so that behavior was communicating to me that I needed to figure out how to process emotions, you know? Even though I didn't necessarily know that then, it is the next thing that I did, was get into therapy and start learning how to actually process emotions. And shortly after that, this habit stopped, and I started feeling my emotions in a more healthy way. But, you know, like, to not judge yourself, to not call yourself bad, wrong, broken, and to know that it all serves a purpose, you know, even though if it doesn't look that great on the outside, it's still okay, and it's part of who you are, and like learning from it, and, you know, just being there with her now. Like, all she wanted was like comfort and like to know that everything was gonna be okay. And that's what that did. And it's okay. It's okay. Bye.